I'd like to call this meeting to order. The land on which we gather today is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee and Attawandarock and Mississauga people, many of whom continue to live and work here today. This territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties and is within the land protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. Today, this gathering place is home to many Indigenous peoples made up of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. So welcome to this hearing of the Committee of Adjustment for the City of St. Catharines. Everyone present, all of you, will be given, I see I do that crazy gesture, an opportunity to comment on the applications being heard. There are two major types of applications to this committee: applications for consent and severance, and applications for minor variances to municipal zoning bylaw requirements. Evidence may be required to be given under oath if deemed necessary. Please address your comments, questions through the chair. That'll be me this evening. Additionally, please maintain respect while communicating with the committee, staff, and other meeting participants to ensure smooth, orderly discussion. Copies of decisions will be mailed to the participant and to any other person who appeared before the committee or filed a written request to receive a notice of decision. Pursuant to the More Homes Built Faster Act, and in the matter of consent applications, the applicant, the minister, or a specified person or public body that has an interest in the matter has the right to appeal either the decision itself or the conditions of the consent to the Ontario Land Tribunal within 20 days of the mailing of the decision. Minor variance decisions may also be appealed. However, they must be made within 20 days of the making of the decision, and the cost of an appeal is $400. Are there any amendments or additions to the agenda?
There are no changes to the agenda.
May we have a motion to approve the agenda? Thank you, David. May we have a motion to adopt the minutes of the last meeting? Thank you, Tom. Well, Tom, just so happens that was a skill testing question, and we haven't circulated them yet, but we'll remember that next time so thank you. Thank you, Lane. Does any member of this panel have a conflict of interest in any of the applications being considered at this hearing or the previous hearing if they were not in attendance? Nope. Okay, so that's no for everybody. Are there any requests for withdrawal or adjournment?
There are none.
Then that allows us to fly right into our agenda this evening, which starts us off at 51A Haynes Avenue. So would the applicant please come down and sit over here, state your name and address that you associate with, turn on your microphone. This is a minor variance application. You have one chance to get this right with those little icons at the bottom right-hand side. No, the power's on. It's just a little speaker icon. Beautiful. Name and address, please.
My name is Neil Shaw, and I'm from 51 Haynes Avenue. And first of all, I wanted to thank the chairman, the board, and the city for putting this special hearing together in a short notice. I appreciate it. Before I talk specifically about my property, I'm dealing with an ADU. So I wanted to, all the ADU, it's something that came in the last few years. So it's something fairly new. Every city, every municipality is interpreting it differently. The intent, in my view at least, was, to increase density and to remove a little bit of red tape. It's important to know that at least in the Niagara region, Niagara Falls has no limits on the size of ADUs. Welland does not have, Port Erie does not have. St. Catharines is the only city in the region that has any limits on ADU size. Now, that's important to know and to understand. A little bit background. Originally, when I was looking at this property, I wanted to go with a completely different plan. I was looking to do instead of a semi to do 3 townhomes versus 2 units. And when I went through that and we started conversations with the city, that plan would require about 6 or 7 different minor variants. Now, each one of those 6 or 7 were not significant, but when you group them together, I decided to put it away and to focus on this one. I'm not that professional, so unfortunately, I should have put this ADU size on the severance application that was heard in March, but I learned from my mistakes. But on that hearing, there was another property, and I think that was the first property in the city of St. Catharines that came with to the Committee of Adjustment regarding the size of ADU, and that was in 93 Jacobson Avenue, if I'm not mistaken. And that property, it was granted, and it was an external ADU. In my case, I'm looking at an internal ADUs. And part of the discussion was the external ADU is how it will reflect on the neighbors and how it will reflect on the other houses. So since in my case, this is the only minor variant that I'm going with, I'm not going to try to increase beyond the zoning limits the size of the exterior structure. So in my case, there's zero impact on the neighbors, on the neighborhood, or on any building. It's 100% internally in the house. And again, the previous one was an increase of about 10% within the limits. I went even more conservative on it, and I went only 7.7%. I understand that the city did not support it, and I understand also that the city, you know, they have their rules, and they're trying to, you know, be within those rules. But that's exactly why there is a committee of adjustment to discuss, to bring up, and if it makes sense, it makes sense. So after all that, saying all this, I believe that, and that's the reason that I'm here, that it should be approved, since it's extremely minor. It doesn't impact any neighbors, anything. It's interior in the house. The footprint of the house will be 100% the same. The only difference if the dividing wall will be a foot here or a foot there. And so that's the reason, like I said, I did not go, originally I wanted to go each floor to be a unit. And, you know, then I would need a bigger size, you know, I would be a lot bigger. But, you know, I went only at 87.7 meters, square meters per unit. Last thing I want to say is at the end of the day, you guys could see the proposal on the screen. It will look very, very nice. It will increase the value of the houses in the neighborhood. Obviously, down the road, I will also benefit from it. And I really hope that we could get a unanimous vote to approve it.
Okay, thanks so much. Yes, we certainly, our purview is with respect to the City of St. Catharines' official plan and zoning bylaw requirements, not any other municipality. So it is with that focus that we're looking at this application exceeding the City of St. Catharines' size limit. So other jurisdictions and their bylaws don't really have an impact on our decision making, but we will consider your application and the staff recommendation in making our decision, because you are correct. That is the purpose of our volunteering our time to be here this evening, is to consider whether this application meets the 4 tests in determining a minor variance. And part of that process is for me to invite members of the committee to ask you any questions or clarifications, or from planning staff who are present. Does anybody have any questions or clarifications?
Through you to planning, I presume if these 2 ADUs were 80 square meters, the gentleman wouldn't have to be here and it would be approved. Is that correct?
Through the chair to Committee of Just members, that's correct, and that's what was shown at the consent application in March. You're correct. If it was 80 square meters, they will not have to go to a minor variance application.
Is it fair to say to staff that there's a correlation between the size of a unit and the intended number of people who can occupy it? So presumably the idea of allowing for 1 parking space per an ADU and limiting it to that size would suggest that it can't be a 3-bedroom unit and therefore have possibly a loading requirement for parking. So there is a sense that that the size limit keeps it more toward, you know, a predictable kind of occupant level, and therefore possible car requirement.
Yes, to the chair, that is part of the purpose of the size restriction. And while there's no specific limit on the number of bedrooms or people who specifically can be in there, at least not from a planning perspective, I'm not sure from a building code perspective, that is part of the consideration for the reduced parking standard.
Thank you. Does anybody in the gallery, wish to speak to this application? No, okay. Is there any further comments?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I just want to add, so I understand that you're not looking at what other municipalities are doing, but I mentioned at the beginning that there was a property in this city for an external ADU that was approved. It wasn't unanimous, but it was approved just over a month ago.
Yeah, so our decisions are not precedent setting.
I understand.
Okay.
I understand.
So yes, we're aware of past.
That's all.
I dream about them every night, actually. So if there are no further questions from the committee, you know what to do.
Through you to you, did you want to clarify the concept of unanimous versus non-unanimous, please?
At this time, I'm not sure that's important to.
I just asked it.
Yeah. Unanimous, I believe, means that everybody in the committee has voted in favor or against something, or as if 1 or 2 have not, then it would not be unanimous.
But I'm talking about the significance of that. There really isn't any significance to that.
Oh, correct. There is no significance, other than it might indicate that there was some division about the thought process. It wasn't clear. Sorry. Thank you.
I just thought it was important to highlight.
Okay, thank you. How about, since your mic was already on and hot, why don't you put a motion before us?
Following consideration of all written and oral presentations, I move that variance applications A2625 and A2525, as presented in the technical report, be approved as the variances are not minor in nature, are not appropriate and desirable for the use of the land, and are not in keeping with the general intent of the official plan and zoning bylaw.
That didn't read well. Approved as per the planning report, perhaps?
Technical report.
Technical report?
I said that.
Okay, thank you. Just clarifying. So the motion before us is, as per the technical, that the application, the motion is to support the technical report, which recommends denial of the application.
Correct.
In your own words, thank you. With that clarity, Tom?
Can we get clarity on that? So is it to deny as per the technical report? I know you're supporting the technical report, but it's to deny the application? Okay.
All those in, well, it did not come out quite the way you thought it did. All those in favor of the motion? Those opposed? Those in favor? Those opposed?
You're in favor of the denial?
Correct. I'm in favor of the, 4. I saw 4 hands. Those in favor of the motion? Those opposed? All right. So as per the staff report, the minor variances have been denied, which doesn't prevent you from continuing with your project. You just have to cut off some floor area. Okay? It's understood, but you still have a way forward. So thank you so much for participating. So we only have one other application. That's for 70 Leaper Street. So thank you for joining us down here. Yep, and who you are, a number where you can, or an address where you hang out often, and any comments you wish to contribute to this hearing.
Thank you very much. My name is Marcus Warstetter. I live at 70 Leaper Street, and I'm requesting a couple minor variances for 70 Leaper Street in reference to an additional dwelling unit proposed on the property as shown above there. First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Chair and the committee members for their time today. Absolutely. Once again, thank you very much, everybody, for their time tonight. I just wanted to bring to attention, I was at a committee of adjustment earlier this year in January with a proposal similar to this. Since that time, I've worked with the city and city staff to put forward an optimized proposal based on their feedback that they had provided. One of the things I would like to add to this is that the neighboring properties have provided written support of this proposal. And I have brought with me some supporting material if the committee members would like to see that, just kind of some site photos and stuff like that. But all in all, I am in agreement with the revised or the updated technical report that planning staff has provided.
That's the most important thing we need to know.
And yeah, I'd just like to open the floor. I'm happy to answer any questions for this proposal. Thank you.
Okay, so you're telling us that you read the report, you saw the comments and the approvals, the rewording of condition and the conditions associated with them, and you're in favor with what the staff has recommended. Thank you. Are there any questions of the members of the committee to the applicant? Anybody in the gallery wish to speak to this application? Would someone please forward a motion?
Following consideration of all written and oral presentations, I move that variances 1, 2, 3, and 5 of variance application 8024 as presented in the notice of hearing be approved subject to the conditions outlined in the technical report, and that variance 4 as revised in the technical report subject to the conditions outlined in the technical report also be approved, as the variances are minor in nature, appropriate and desirable for the use of the land, and are in keeping with the general intent of the official plan and zoning bylaw.
Thank you. So in summary, your motion is in support of the staff recommendation. Those in favor of the motion, so your application has been approved unanimously with those conditions. Great.
Thank you very much.
Thanks much.
Thank you.
All right, so if new business?
No new business.
Oh, look who just showed up. Don't even come here and sit down, mister. You sit over there with everybody else. Day of the next hearing is May 14th. Motion to adjourn. All right.
Recording stopped.